Welcome to the demonstration of Integrity Data Governance tool. It's a bolt-on platform which can be hosted on top of your ERP AM system to manage and govern your material, service, and vendor master data. I can access this platform through a browser using single sign-on as well as using username and password based on the way you configure it. Once I log in, I should land into the dashboard where I can see all the requests that have been either created by me, which are in my work queue, where I may have saved those requests, requests that are in progress. Here, the users, and this is a requester level user who would be responsible for searching, creating requests. He would not be the someone who would be approving requests, but the general operation that he would start from, it would be doing something like a simple search, right? Where what we expect the user to be doing is he would enter a material description. Maybe it comes from a quote that he has received, or maybe from a supplier catalog, but he'll enter it, based on the record that he's searching for. Now here it leverages semantic search to find the material record information. It would be able to take into account the abbreviations, acronyms, spelling mistakes, and still find the most accurate record fairly quickly. On the left-hand pane, you can see all the different fields on which the simple search is performing this activity. You can select by category, you can select by your plant, alternate plants. Now, as a user, you have multiple options available. You can view the record, clone the record to begin an entire new record creation process that does save a lot of time for the end user. You can edit an existing material. You can extend the material to your plant if it is not present within your plant. Let me see which plant is this material present for. So it is present under Acme. So when I click on extend, let's see what it does. When I click on extend, it basically brings up, Acme is grayed out because that's where it is already present. But Bellingham is the plant which I am responsible for out of all these 5 plants. So I can extend it to Bellingham. That should take me to the plant level information which I will have to add, and then this progresses further in the approval workflow. Yes, it does support role-based access. Approval workflows are configurable based on your business requirements. Now, in addition to that, you can indicate what is the status of the material, whether it is active at plant level, at global level. You can change that. You can look at all the modification history, who has created it, and who has approved it as well. All these details are available for the user to report by. Now, this pretty much covers simple search, which in principle meets usage requirement for almost 95% of our customer base. Now, but then apart from this, there are also few other types of searches, like custom search, where you can create your own personalized search or personalized report and then save it. Like if I go into the basic view, let's say I want to apply a filter for cross plant status as non-stock item. I can do this. I can view the results. Now, when I do this type of search, it basically can be something that I can save over here, and then in future, if I want to find based on that criteria that I have already saved, well, it would appear over here. I can simply click on cross plant status. It will bring all the records that meet my search criteria. You can add multiple fields to this search criteria, thereby building your search report. So I can actually add, so let's say or whether it's critical part, whether it is special stock, that will bring a few results together. And then once I view the results, it does allow us to export the results in Excel, PDF, and CSV formats. Let me close this one. Now here, let's move to some other searches. There's one final search which I would like to quickly showcase, which is parametric search. Here, if the user knows, let's say he's searching for an AC motor. Okay, so now it will bring me to the category of electrical AC motor, where I can enter into the category, and then it gives me all the different attribute level details which I can run a filter for. Here I can select horsepower. It will just bring up the record very quickly. It gives me a complete view. What is horsepower, voltage, current rating? Again, from an action standpoint, it gives me all the different activities available, which were available in other searches. So here we'll take an approach where as a requester level user, we are looking to create a new diesel engine, which is required for a 5-ton crane. So as a user, he can start by entering manufacturer name, part number, and have the system suggest categorization, or he can start with something like a diesel engine. Once he enters this particular category, the platform prompts the category he have selected. Is web enrichment required over here? So yes, this is required. Let me select. I'm creating something for Cummins. So it's a Cummins engine. Let me enter the part number over here. It's QSB7. Let me create this. So now, as you can notice, the platform has suggested a image associated with this Cummins model number, but then all the attribute level data is currently missing. Here I can ask Integrity or the Auto Enrich AI to enrich the attribute details. So let me click on this. This should take a few seconds because here the agentic AI is making recommendations in terms of the technical attributes, but along with that, it is also going to provide us URLs, PDF documents that can act as supporting for the suggested values. So in here, what we would see is all the different values that the platform has recommended. It would have validated that those values are listed by manufacturer or supplier catalogs. And once the results are generated, it should present these under Enrich Values tab. So here it has presented these results from 3 different sources, and all of those are from Cummins catalog, as you can see on the top. Now, once I click on this, it should bring up the Cummins catalog. But before that, let me show how does this information go into the final results. So here I can basically add those one by one. I can make a selection. Do I wish to add it across multiple sources, or do I just want to go with one single source and then populate all of the information together? So that is also possible. So it's a single click which ensures that the user who is requesting a new material gets the benefit of all the technical values through just a couple of clicks without having to do a lot of manual research to find this information. Additionally, as you would notice that the platform also checks the obsolescence about the material, right? It checks for part status, whether it is active or discontinued. This can be applied for a new material request as well as for existing materials as well. You can click on Enrich Attributes in the spec view or specifications view to check if the material is active or discontinued, what are the alternatives available in the market. So these are some of the details that the solution helps us populate for any material that undergoes enrichment. Once this information is populated, you notice that it currently is not standardized or structured. So how do we ensure that this goes in as a structured format? So there is an option for us where we can click on check duplicate. Once we click on check duplicate, all this information would be standardized. It would also make a recommendation in terms of what are the alternatives available in our system today. I see that there is already a 6.7 liter displacement engine manufactured by Cummins, which is QSB 6.7. Now, as a user, I can take a decision whether this particular engine meets my requirement. I notice that most of the characteristic values are identical. Even the torque rating here is the same. Probably here it is in pounds feet and here it is in Newton meter. So as a user, instead of creating a new engine, I can check if this particular engine is available in the inventory. Is it available listed against my plant? It is currently listed against MNG plant, but I can also list it against the other plant which I am trying to run this maintenance for. So here I'll select the plant. Once I select the plant, all the plant level data is going to become available for the user. Now, the next and more important part is how do we ensure that as we extend materials, that it is linked to the right asset bill of material hierarchy. So here I can select the plant. As soon as I select the plant, it presents to me what are the functional locations available for this material. So here I can pick up the functional location of my choice, and then I can also add the equipment that is linked to the functional location. So here, as I select, and this is for 5-ton east wing crane, so this is the functional location and equipment which then can be updated in your asset management system under your bill of material hierarchy. There are multiple validations that can be applied to ensure the right granularity in the equipment linkage. Additionally, it also helps us, or it also can be configured to populate the info record. Info record can be auto-populated as well, wherein the info record can have the information around the purchasing organization. So like here, I'll select the purchasing organization 2000, the info category, whether it's standard or consignment, the price here, the price for this motor, for this particular plant and the vendor that's selected is, let's say, 36,000. Additionally, what is the order quantity, the base unit of measure, all of this is possible to be entered. And here we can basically be able to manage the SAP info records. You can select the supplier for whom you are creating this particular diesel engine. You can select the supplier material number. Now this can be either entered by the user or it can be backfilled from the procurement system as well. Additionally, the purchase info record PO text, whether it's standard PO text or customized, that is also possible. Price threshold can be inserted. Other than this, there are a few other fields as well which can be embedded over here. Once all of this information is populated and verified, we can then click on submit. So this basically will take this particular material record in the approval workflow for extension. So this covers the extension process flow. So before we proceed to submission of this request further in the approval workflow, I'll quickly show what we mean about the info record and purchasing related information that can also be configured specific to the user's or business specific requirements. We can have all the lot size information or inventory related information captured over here. We can have the ABC indicators captured over here. Additionally, plant data and the pricing over here is mandatory. So I'll just add that information, valuation class, everything else should be okay. Purchase order text, so that can be an add to list type of view. And here we can basically maintain the history about the purchasing for the specific diesel engine. So it can be maintained at the plant level data depending on the vendor. You can have different purchase order descriptions as well. Once this particular request has been populated, I can submit this, and this would then move ahead in the approval workflow. I can notify specific users who need to be informed about this high value item creation. Let me submit this. This should now move under the approval workflow and should be with the next level approver. So I see over here, let me now log out and then log in as a next level user who is the plant data analyst who would be responsible for approving this at the plant level. Now this user, depending on the way we would configure the platform, would have visibility in terms of how he would like to set it up. Now here, before actually taking this ahead, let me edit this item. Okay. Depending on the user configuration, this user may have access to the same set of fields or may have access to some additional fields as well. Okay. Now, once he is satisfied with the information that the user has provided, he can approve this, and this would then undergo the next step in the approval workflow. So now I see only one which is pending, which was an earlier request. Let me log out and log in as the final level user, which is a master data manager or a data steward. Now, password. As a master data manager, once I log in, this request is now under my approval workflow, where once I approve this request, it would undergo integration first thing before integration, it will check if there is any duplicate present. Okay, once I approve, it will check for a potential duplicate, and then it will go in all in progress. And as you can see, in a momentarily, it got extended. So this is now a material that is available not only for, let me another filter, QSP 6.7 is the manufacturer's part number which I was looking at. This is a material that is available now in 2 plants. Okay. So now here there are multiple ways in which we can edit the material, but those are all the steps that we already covered. But this is now listed for the Columbus plant as well. That is it. Thank you.